Hello and welcome to TV Talks, the show where I take a look at both the good and the bad of what television has to offer. Today it's Tech and the Power of Juju. Yay? So let's get a little bit of history going before we actually talk about the show itself. The Tech and the Power of Juju games were actually a pretty popular series of platformers back in the day. Now I don't mean popular like Mario or Sonic levels, no, far from it, but for what it was, being a smaller scale kind of adventure game, it was pretty dang popular. THQ and Nickelodeon have all their hands in it, that kind of stuff. So of course it's going to get a little bit of promotion as, you know, at the time, they were pretty respected and well off when it came to finances. So there were 3 tag games in the original lineup. The popularity was going strong, so Nickelodeon decided to make a show. But it took a little too long, and then they ended up releasing it when the games were kind of done. It's more of a time where TAC just was kind of forgotten. They hadn't really done much of anything with the property, and by then a lot of the people who played the games had already kind of moved on to other things like either other games or real life. Nevertheless, this did get a lot of buzz from the longtime TAC and the Power of Juju fans, so they ended up watching and were thoroughly disgusted. While this is not regarded as one of the worst video game adaptations because, you know, TAC didn't have a huge legacy like, say, the things that came from Captain N, or Street Fighter, or Mortal Kombat, you get the idea, this was still hated very, very much. And aside from the first few episodes, this didn't do very well in the ratings at all. And pretty dang quickly, this thing was gone. It barely lasted 1 season. And you know it's in a bad place when not only does it only last 1 season, but they finish airing that single season on Nicktoons Network. You know, the channel that is really good and really fun, or at least was at the time, but is the graveyard for all currently running Nickelodeon shows. Basically, if Nickelodeon puts all of your remaining episodes on Nicktoons for a premiere, you know you're done. You know there's no chance. It happened to Harvey Beaks, it happened to Back at the Barnyard, and it happened to the Fairly Odd Parents. And this was no different. People really disliked a lot of its departures from the original games. They didn't like the humor. They didn't like the storyline. And yeah, I'm kinda right there. Admittedly, I've only ever finished the first TAC game, and I've only played the second one just a little bit. I haven't even played the third one at all. But even I, as someone who's barely had any real exposure to the TAC series, I know that this is not a good representation. You see, there was always something sly and witty about the original, and it did have a lot of serious moments, albeit comedy was definitely its main focus, but it was fanciful, it was exciting, it actually had, like, real stories. But this doesn't. It's just your kind of run-of-the-mill Nickelodeon bunch of best friends with a slight twist to the formula. That's basically what it is. Rather than have TAC go on adventures or harness the power of Juju to save his village, what he does is just go derping around with his friends and hijinks ensue. He'll meet up with his instructor, Jaboba, he'll meet up with the chief of the tribe, he'll meet up with the town wannabe hero, but none really changes anything. It's just kind of typical Nickelodeon cartoon affair. But based on a franchise that had a lot going for it and had a lot of potential. And yeah, let's talk about that lore. I can't really talk about what exactly was changed. All I do know is a lot of the fans complained about a lot of the characters' personalities changing and a lot of characters being underutilized. For example, the main villain of the show, or game series, Tlaylock, or Treylock as some incarnations call him. I don't know. It's Tlaylock, I think. And as that's the one that's most often used, that's what I'm gonna call him. He appears in 1, maybe 2 episodes of this show. Granted, it didn't last long, but really? Your main villain gets no appearances? And even then, when he does appear, from what I remember, he's supposed to be this sly, manipulative Emperor Palpatine kind of guy, where he is powerful and sadistic, but he's really cunning and clever about the way he does it. He's not just some goofy Jeff Bennett, laugh-em-up, joking, genie style kind of guy. That's not what he's supposed to be. He's hardly even a threat. And then that goes right there for TAC. TAC has no resemblance of a hero at all. He's just some goofy preteen / mid-early teen boy who's just kind of there along for the ride. He's supposed to be built up as this hero, but he never really does anything heroic aside from fixing his screw-ups. He's no more of a hero than Timmy Turner. Which, yeah, they're kind of similar, Both have access to magic, both are irresponsible, both are kind of lazy, both are loud, both are whiny, and both are kind of self-centered. The animation is just kind of par for the course. It's alright. I suppose the designs look kind of like something that would come out of the game from what I know. So it looks like it fails on both fronts, right? Yeah. As a fan of the games, you'd be turned off by its lack of loyalty to the source material and just complete missed opportunity. And as just a casual viewer, you'd be put off by the fact that it's just a dime a dozen. This stands out in no way whatsoever. It has no jokes that really work. It has no characters that are really worth caring about, because the characters are just used for the unfunny jokes, and the plots you could find on any other Nickelodeon cartoon. Jimmy Neutron, Rugrats, SpongeBob, Doug, even Rocko's Modern Life maybe. Granted, all those, except maybe Doug, would probably take the concepts and run a bit more with them, or, actually have interesting things happen. This is just kind of nothing. Speaking of nothing, that's what I would have given it had it not been actually based off of a pre-existing property and have gotten it so wrong. So, I'm going to give it a very, very, very light scowling seal of disapproval. This was dangerously close to nothing, and had it not been based on anything, it would have gotten nothing for sure. As it stands, this thing doesn't need to get revived, and now that Tack's franchise is just gone, there's no chance that we're ever going to see another thing of this. No way. Nickelodeon's not interested, and the audience isn't there for it anymore. But what did you guys think about the show and the games? Comment below, let me know, and I'll see you guys next time.
Good night, everybody.